Oh, no, I can't hear
You
you.
let people in and out. There you go. Now we're live.
All right. Is there any public comment? Give it a minute here.
There we go.
You don't see anybody? No comments?
No, there's no public comment.
All right. Hopefully everybody had a chance to read their minutes. Is there anybody see any corrections that need to be made? If not, we'll get somebody to give a motion.
I move to approve the minutes.
Dave Chensky seconds it.
Got it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from July 27th. You want to do a roll call, Paula?
Yes. Cribs,
Here.
this is for the minutes, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Ridsdale, does she ever get on? No. Rudnick?
Here.
Woods,
Yes.
Dar,
Yes. All right, and then we have the treasurer's report. Is our treasurer here tonight?
she was supposed to be, but I don't know if she's just having some issues or what. I haven't heard from her, but she was planning on getting on there tonight. She sent both
Okay.
of the treasurer's reports. Did you guys see them?
I see that July. Was there another one on here?
July and June are both there.
Okay. Let's see, June. Just missed it. Oh, there it is. I don't know if we need to read through it. I don't know. Everybody have a chance to look at it. If somebody wants to give a motion to pass those.
Dave Shinsky motions to pass them,
And I'll second it. Greg Hunt.
June and July.
Cribs,
Yep.
Budnick?
Yep.
Woods,
Yes.
Dar,
Yes.
Hunt,
Yes.
Jinsky.
Yes.
There you go.
All right. So we're now to number 5 on the agenda, approval of updated DDA TIF plan. Is anybody here with us tonight, Paula, for that?
No, I told him I didn't really think it was necessary.
Okay.
Did you guys
Uh-huh.
have more questions or?
I did. I had just one. I read through it and I was curious. Our existing plan right now has, and I know it's probably in there, but within our district, there's a lot of residential, and I know that, DDA isn't really developed for residential, but it is a portion of our district. And I didn't see a lot that talked about that and helping with improvements within the district for that, unless I missed it somewhere or.
I don't know. I read through it and I was thinking there was something in there about, like developing living spaces.
So there was a lot of talk about living space, but it had a lot to do with more developer type or mixed use type, not necessarily dealing with the residential units within the district, the standalone. I was kind of hoping he was here. We could ask him about it, but will he be back at our next meeting to kind of finalize things and then
Last month you guys actually finalized it.
Uh-huh.
But, I wanted to bring it back for an actual vote because you guys didn't really vote on it. So last month you guys finalized it and we're supposed to get with us within 10 days if you had anything. And then I decided that I thought we should bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not ready to finalize it, then we could do that.
Well, I mean, I thought that in our last meeting that we talked about we were going to get it and then kind of read through it and then talk about it at this meeting, but maybe I misunderstood that. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I mean, I do have a question about that. I mean, I think that's an important aspect of our district. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but or if anybody else has any more comments about it or would like to talk to anybody else about it.
Well, I think if you have a question or a reservation, we should definitely bring them back.
Is that possible for our next meeting? And then we can kind of finalize the vote. And then the other thing, Paul, was the financial side of it, the money. I know there was dollar amounts. Is that for us to kind of come up with those numbers, or is he going to help us with that, or how is that working?
I contacted them and told them they weren't in there, and they put them in there in a version that I have now.
So you have a version that has the dollar amount.
I'm
Are
sorry.
they able to make those other edits that I suggested to just make it easier to read?
I did it myself.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they were just simple edits, so I just did it. So, but I had some questions too, but I mean, we've been going over this for a few months and, nobody ever really said anything. So, like one of the things like it talks about the proposed improvements, it talks about that the DDA will like institute a rehab program, but it doesn't mention that we already have one, because we currently have a Face Forward grant, improvement program. It doesn't talk about that we have one. And so I was
Right.
like, and then on that same page where it talks about it's number 4. I mean, I can try to bring it up and share it, but not everybody's on the screen anyways. So, but it says, and maybe Sharon, you know what this is, but under business development, it says encourage property owners and developers to create mixed use developments. And this is what you're talking about, Rich, because that's for residential. And then it says in keeping with host or the village center area VCA district zoning requirements. What is that?
Yeah, it sounds like we need to bring them back for questions because
Yeah,
otherwise
I'd like
those are big questions.
Yeah.
I
mean,
didn't
I'd like
know
to.
what that was, that village center area district zoning requirements. I had no idea. But I do know that in our master plan, in our zoning and in our master plan, we are encouraging residential in downtown. We would like to increase the residential density in downtown. So I know that, and all the plans work, if they were to work hand in hand, this plan would encourage the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does talk about that mixed use, which would be, commercial, residential, and then, multi-residential, but it just doesn't really key in on the individual residential, I don't think. I mean, maybe it does, maybe it's just, how you got to read it. So, I mean, personally, I'd like to table it and have him come back and answer some of our questions and maybe walk us through it. And then we can kind of finalize it. Are you going to send out the one that you have with all the dollar amounts on it for us to review? Or
Yeah, I can. Yeah. So when I sent it back to him, I'm like, this doesn't have any dollar amounts on it, but apparently he thought he had given me with one that did, but I didn't ever see one that did. So, and in the one that we had, it had all the parcels in it. And so I went back and reran that report and put just the DDA parcels on the list because we don't need the entire 700 and some parcels for the whole city in there. So I
Right.
But I would definitely encourage everyone to really read this and make sure that we're passing something that you can live with. So
Yeah.
you want to make
I
sure
agree.
you understand it and ask questions. So, but yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right. Is everybody good with that? Board
Yes.
members?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because, I'd like to just, at least I read through it, but I'd like to like maybe just set it down side by side with the one that we have now currently, and just kind of make sure it flows with what we have, plus the future what we want to do. Okay, we can just get our questions answered. And,
Well,
get clear.
these projects listed in here are generic.
Sure. Yep.
And our old one had specific projects. So you want, I guess you got to determine, do you want it to just be generic? And then we have another plan, we have another plan for our projects that is a little more specific. So, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know. There must be a reason they did this more generically than our other plan, but I mean, our other plan was very specific.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good that it's generic, like what we talked about. That gives us a lot of flexibility and keeps us rolling for a lot longer. So, I mean, I'm good with that part of it, but we don't want to restrict ourselves on what we're able to do within the district.
Do you want to make a motion to table it?
Yeah. Anybody want to make a motion? Or we can just table it. We don't think we need a motion, do we?
No, we don't. I mean, you don't pass it, you don't pass it. So.
Yeah, let's just table it until our next meeting, and then I'll give everybody another chance to kind of read through it more in depth, and maybe even look at the dollar amounts that you send out, and if there's any comments on that, and if he can come back and answer our questions and kind of help work us through it, and I think we should be good. Sound good to everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I just sent an email to Carmen Aventini to see if he's available. I know that Justin isn't because he's on a holiday. But, if he's at his computer and can dial in, he'll join us in 5 minutes. Otherwise, I say we table it.
Yeah, I'd like to table it, give it a little more time, personally. But, I mean, that's fine if somebody wants to come on and answer some questions right now.
I mean, that's kind of my fault because he asked me if he needed to attend tonight, and I said I didn't think so because you guys didn't. No one sent me any questions, so I had no idea. So,
What's the timeline on approving this?
he said something about it needed to all be done in 2020, but I don't know why that is the case. So, I guess that's because today I asked him about the timeline, and so once the DDA approves it, then it goes to the city council. So the city council actually has to amend an ordinance to adopt this because the DDA is an ordinance of the city. So once we get that done, we have to have 20 days of publication time. We have to have 2 times in the newspaper, and it has to be at a minimum 20 days. So, I mean,
We got a couple months to.
we do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we can get it resolved next month and have it finalized. I think, if we need to make changes, then
It
we can.
would be nice if I had some specifics that we want him to have in there so I can try and get him to do some of that rather than him coming back next month and us still not having a plan, because now we're looking at, if he comes back next month in September, then we're looking at October before you guys would send it to council, and that's going to make it pretty tight for getting it adopted in 2020.
Yeah. Well, that was one of my main questions. I mean, I specifically can't think of anything else right now without digging into it a little deeper, but that's just one thing I noticed right off the cuff going through it.
What I would suggest is that everyone reads it, write your questions right on the pages, and either take a picture with your phone or scan them and tell me what your questions are so we can get
Sure.
them.
Okay.
Good idea.
That way he comes back with something rather than come back cold next month. We might as well come back with some stuff that you wanted changed.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All righty.
All right, let's move on to new business. Is there any new business tonight?
When I lived out at Round Lake, the homeowners association used to bring in a dumpster every year for people to throw their junk into. Would that be something that we'd like to do?
Round Lake Association bringing a dumpster into town?
Well, they did that at Round Lake, but we'd have to rent our own dumpster to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing filled up in a hurry out there.
Yeah, but I don't know what anybody think about that.
I
Do you know
think
what
that's
that
an invitation for everybody to bring every 20 years worth of junk they have, and then we're stuck with overloaded dumpsters.
Would you limit it? I mean, you would need to limit it to people who live or businesses in the DDA district. Because your funding can only do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true. That's a good point.
I would limit it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to check in to see how much that would cost, whatever, and
All right, I'll check it and see.
what it would take, and maybe we can talk about it in our next meeting and see if anybody wants to do that.
Okay.
40, that would be.
Any other new business?
Mhm.
Do you have anything out there, Paula?
No, Bob Ford is on, and we did get the history sign finished up.
Okay. That's next on the agenda. So, hi, Bob.
How's everybody doing?
Well,
Good. Yeah, the history sign I think is 100%. And we're actually put it into production. So we should have a sign up there soon, like mid-month. I think we're trying for the 11th to have it done and delivered to the site.
But I don't think we're going to install it until the amphitheater's done, correct?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll do it when that happens, but we'll have it at least so we can get it to the garage or wherever you want to store it.
cool. Do you have a picture of it you could send everybody?
Well, yeah, I think so. Trying to think if we could,
I think I have it, Bob.
what's that?
I might have it. Then I could put it up on the screen.
Oh, that'd be great, because I can find it too.
Richard can't see it though.
No, I can't. That's all right. Everybody else can. Just get a sneak preview.
Oh, let's see. Trying to find the final one. I have a lot of versions here.
Yeah, we've been through it.
Let me see.
Find it. Hmm.
You got my good side, right, Bob?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding it here. I have to call you back. Any luck, Paula?
I'm getting close.
Not sure how to bring up a file.
I think I got it. I think so. I think this is it. All right, now if I go back to Zoom, share my screen. You guys see it?
Congratulations. That's it.
So the first picture is Peter Lang, and then we have the postal workers, and then we have the high school, like a group of kids in front of the first high school in around the 1900s. Then we have the new high school that was built in the 1920s. Then we have the 1933 baseball team. We have the baseball diamond, which was actually right on the spot where McClintock Park is. the football team that played there. And then we have a picture of the flag raising ceremony. And if you're looking at towards the flag, that is where the amphitheater is going to go. And then a picture of the front of City Hall, and then a marching band coming up Main Street in 1964.
Cool.
And we
So we're
filled
ready.
we filled in the timeline quite a bit. There's probably 4 to 5 points on each of the 25-year markers. And then we have some like major world events at the bottom. I think it turned out really nice.
Good.
What size is that, Bob?
Say it again.
You know what size that will be?
Oh, I think it was 54 inches by
It's big.
24, something like that.
Have you seen the other 4 that we have in town? Yeah, this is going to go the other way though.
Horizontal.
It looks really nice, Bob.
Oh, thanks.
It looks great.
We're thinking that, you know, there's a couple spots that we can put it. One is near the restroom by the plaza, a little grass area that leads you as you're moving in toward the amphitheater. Might go at the end of the concrete there. We could turn it so it faces McClintock Street. Obviously, if you're in a car, you wouldn't be able to see it, but you'd at least see the sign and see that there was something there. It's kind of a dead space right now, so it might allow people a concrete edge that they can get up to and look at it, and then move on into the amphitheater and or go through the breezeway through the restroom.
That's something we have to make sure that's within our district, or doesn't it matter?
This was mostly funded with that grant money. So
Oh,
I do think that the park is in your district. So that's the plan, is that for it to be somewhere, you know, in the park or by the amphitheater.
Right. Okay. Everybody good?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Okay, good.
I hope so. I have a lot of time in it.
I hope so. It's in production.
Thanks, Paula.
So Bob, is Bob still there?
I am.
Hey, yeah, you know, I know this isn't on our agenda, but maybe you could just give us a quick update on the amphitheater and how that's going.
Sure. The retaining wall blocks should be delivered tomorrow. The storm sewer has been put in, and we are waiting for the band shell to be delivered. 9/14 is the arrival date that's scheduled so far. And the piers, the structural piers, are meeting their cure date by then, so they'll be able to receive the additional concrete, and we'll be able to start working on the amphitheater very, very shortly after that.
Oh, nice.
The band
That'd be
shell.
pretty close to being up here towards the end of September then, huh? At least the shell.
Yeah, it should be toward the end of September.
Nice.
And then I'm still working with the manufacturer and some stain companies, and still playing around with the stains, because this color is an interesting business. I'll tell you, those color chips that they give you, they're not worth anything. So I'm buying stains by the little tiny pint, and we're doing samples, and we got to get the colors so that they're the actual colors. So that's what we're doing, so we can be reviewing those. But we'll get it done, and I'll get with Paula and whoever else wants to see them, and we'll make some choices there and get it finalized.
Nice. Okay, well, thanks for the update.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate being here.
You guys could all take a walk over there and take a look. It's really visible right now what it's going to look like. I mean, it's a lot better than, you know, what it was before was a hill, but now you can see what's going to be there. I mean, they have the area, you know, pretty much dug out and ready for the building. And So,
Yeah, it looks a lot different for sure.
Yeah, and with any new project, it takes a little while for it to settle in, get used to it. But nice thing about it is it is very serviceable, very easy to load and unload for equipment and things like that. So it should work out pretty good.
Great. All right. Anybody have any questions for Bob? All right. We'll move on to the next agenda. Appreciate it, Bob.
See you next time. Thanks.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. So our last item on the agenda is other. If anybody has any other business items. No? All right. I don't have anything.
alrighty,
So want to adjourn at 6:32.
I like it.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.